So today I'm going to talk about the mind-body problem. Um, Before we do that, though, a note on mental and physical properties. People have mental and physical properties, and physical properties are those things like height and weight, or like eye color, and mental properties are things like consciousness, intentionality, and phenomenological experience. And the difference between the two is that physical properties seem to be available to everyone regardless of who they are, whereas mental properties do not, and I'll explain what I mean. So, given the appropriate tools, anyone could tell how tall someone else is. It's just a matter of, measuring it, and anyone could do that. But the same thing can't be said about telling whether or not someone else is in pain. Sure, you could infer that someone else is in pain based on the way they're reacting to stimuli, but because feeling pain has a sort of first-person privilege for the person feeling it, much like emotions, there's no real way to independently verify that someone else is feeling pain in the same way that you could verify that someone else is, 6 feet tall, for instance. So, physical properties are available to everyone in a way that mental properties are not. So, the mind-body problem, then, seeks to understand the relationship between mental and physical properties, and some possible solutions include that all mental states are physical, or that all physical states are mental, or that the two are completely distinct. Some subspecies of this question include what is consciousness, what is the nature of beliefs and desires, and what is the self. So, Descartes was a dualist, which means that he believed that the mental and the physical were discrete things. And his argument for his dualism was as follows. 1. He can doubt the existence of the physical world. 2. He cannot doubt the existence of his own conscious experience, therefore. 3. His mind must not be a physical phenomenon. So, this is not a terribly good argument. From the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, this argument is clearly inconclusive from the fact that the Joker cannot, at a certain moment, doubt the existence of Batman because he is with him, but he can doubt the existence of Bruce Wayne, who might, for all the Joker knows, have been killed by the Joker's henchmen. It does not follow that Bruce Wayne is not Batman. In fact, he is Batman. The Joker is merely ignorant of that fact. So, basically what Descartes' problem was that he did not have any provision in his argument that dealt with the possibility that his conscious experience was simply, sort of a complex system of physical states. Before we go any further, I want to talk specifically about the type of dualist Descartes was. Descartes was a substance dualist, and there are two conditions for being a substance dualist. You have to believe in substances, and that those substances are dualistic. But what I mean by this is, a substance is not just a collection of properties, but also an identifiable thing that is in some sense over those properties. It possesses those properties. It's not just a collection of them. So, the mind is not simply a collection of thoughts, but the mind is a thing that thinks thoughts. So, Descartes revised his position. In the second meditation, Descartes reaffirms his dedication to his premises that he cannot doubt his mental experience, but he can doubt the existence of the physical world, the material world. But at this point, he does not use those two premises to conclude that dualism holds. So from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, then in the sixth meditation, having established to his satisfaction the mark of truth, he used that mark to frame a positive argument to the effect that the essence of mind is thought, and that a thinking thing is unextended, and that the essence of matter is extension, and that extended things cannot think. And extension is just a property of a thing that means it takes up space. And so Descartes said that the mark of truth was we have a clear and distinct perception of something if, when we consider it, we cannot doubt it. So that was his revised argument. And the problem it runs into here is that if matter is extended and mind is unextended, how does the mind interact with the body? And a lot of followers of Descartes believed that the two actually didn't interact, and when they appear to be interacting, what's going on is that appearance of interaction is sort of, it is God taking the opportunity to impose the appropriate brain states on the mind. So it would be, God is basically imposing the sort of states that I guess would be present if the two were interacting, but they in fact do not interact, and any appearance of their apparent interaction is simply God imposing, I guess brain states would be inappropriate, but mind states on the mind. So, there are other answers to this problem. There are physicalist theories, including mind-brain identity, which holds that brain states are mind states, eliminative materialism, and functionalism. And basically what all of these sorts of solutions have in common is that they deny that our sort of intuitions about the mind are in fact correct. Specifically what they deny is that mental properties are distinct from physical properties. Rather, they just think that mental properties are very sort of complicated physical properties. And then there are also idealist theories, which I mentioned earlier, which subjugate, or they say that physical properties are subsets of mental properties. So this is the opposite of physicalist theories. The slide is titled Contemporary Reactions. I mean, roughly contemporaries of Descartes as opposed to contemporary right now. George Berkeley was an idealist because he rejected substance dualism because he rejected material substance, thinking that there was no substance outside of the mind. And Hume rejected substance dualism, and the reason for the interlude about substance earlier is because of theories like Hume's, because Hume thought that when you inquire as to the identity of a substance that consists of properties, you're like, well, okay, what is the mind? There's no way to characterize that substance except by appealing to more properties. So, for Hume, the mind is simply a heap of impressions and ideas that lack an owner, and this is called, I'm going to say bundle dualism, but we'll revisit that in a moment. So, Hume denied the substance of substance dualism. One thing to understand about Hume's response, though, is that this is simply it's simply an account of sort of the unity or the cohesion of the mind. It doesn't necessarily take a position on the dualism-monism issue, and there are philosophers who accept Hume's account, which, again, denies the existence of substance as a thing and holds that instead the mind is just a collection of impressions and ideas. There are physicalists who accept Hume's account of the sort of unity, like Derek Parfit is one such physicalist. So that is simply a theory that rejects substances without necessarily positing physicalism or idealism. So that is the mind-body.